Good morning, this is Catherine, and I'm back in my knitting corner. I had a friend yesterday coming over, and I showed her this. I have just knitted this, and she was very, very wow about this. And then I had a friend when I told her it was knitted. I have knitted this out of yarn to look like this. This is what we call here in Denmark pompom garn. And she asked me how I got it to look so nice knitted. As you can see, the pom-poms are lined in a row. And I think I have seen, she showed me something she had knitted also of pom-pom yarn. This. But she believes that when you have a yarn like that, you have to use big needles to knit with it. But when you use these big needles, and you have to consider the look of it, because then you have a bulk and no, and it looked like something very twisted, odd sort of stuff. Because sometimes they don't write on what size of needles you need for this. But how do you knit with it so it doesn't look like a mess? How do you put stitches up? I'll show you. First of all, you need a plain string. Now I'm taking this in this one. I have in the blue. I have a blue string, beginner string as I call it, in the same color. When you take up stitches to going to knit with this, you have to remember, and these will give you a distance between the stitches. So you will only make it with one string. That means you start up with a loop and then you twist the yarn like this. I don't know if you can see it. You make a loop, twist the loop, get it from behind. Make a loop, take it from behind and string it on. You have to also think about one more, and loop and twist the loop like this. A loop, twist the loop. So you take it from behind. Now I have about 8. I make 8 loops here. The reason is because when you start knitting with this, you can see the length of this. Actually, what you are going to need when you knit with this is a 5, and you can measure it like this. It has this part without a pom-pom has to be able to circle around your needle like this. In this case, you can actually make 2 loops or you can twist it like this. Here I have put 2 stitches. I can knit 2 stitches from this plain part. This here is the normally one which is made on these gigantic needles. When you do, you start like you knit always. You make a stitch, if I can get it, 1 stitch like this. Then you move it out like this. Grab the pompom. Can you see it? I'm removing the pompom and make a stitch. Then I grab the pompom again and move it and stitch. So when you stitch with it, you only stitch it in the center part like this. I'll put you on a hold in a minute and I'll finish the first row and I'll show you the next row. I think I'm back again. As you can see, I have now knitted the first row, and if you look at the back side here, there's the red string, and the reason we have to make it sure it is not doubled up is because you are going to be able to allow it to stretch, because what you are doing is you are placing these little pom-poms. Now I will show you the beginning one more time. Row, grab the pom-pom to the side, make a stitch, grab the pom-pom and stitch. Always remove the pom-pom and stitch. Grab the pom-pom and stitch. Move this and stitch. And one more time. Stitch. Always remember to draw the pom-pom aside like this. At the end, here you are. Now we have 2 rows. What you can see is what I'm doing with the pom-poms like this is to the side and stitch, and side 1 stitch and grab. Can you see what I'm doing? And stitch like this. It doesn't matter, it has to be a little loose. And one more time. Here again. Now, as you can see, then you stretch it out like this down, so you can actually see now what I have done is I have knitted it. So as you can see, I make the little pom-poms follow in a straight line. I will hold you a little bit and knit a little more so it's easier for you to see. Hey, back again. As you can see, now I have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. And as you can see, what I'm doing, it looks like it's weaving. So what you're doing, you're actually placing the pom-poms as a side. So they are actually in a straight row. So as you can see, the result is very soft and plain surface. I think it's a service here. Sometimes because when you knit it on the big needles, it would be not be the little pom-poms will do their own way, and it will look very twisted and difficult to knit with it. These types are made for normally a pin euro 5 millimeter or maximum 6 millimeter. On the distance between these stitches, a stitch, grab it next here, and as you can see, I slice the pom-pom, grab this, stretch it, and grab this. I hope you can see it. This is made for a friend, but of course the rest of you are welcome to look to watch with it. As you can see here, what I do is that I knit it like this. So in this case you have to consider that it can be a little difficult and maybe time consuming, but in the beginning to get the right touch to it. But this is how it looks when you take one stitch and a needle number 5, and that's how you knit with hops, grab it, pom-pom yarn, not on yeast, you use yeast, not net, no, yes, and then you make sure you have so you can expand where you put up the first stitches. That was it from Catherine. Just a little how do I knit with pom-pom yarns so it look nice, soft and comfort and like this. So, and I was just here at last, I will say for crochet you do the same, but ask if you want me to show how you crochet with it. So that was Catherine. Have a nice day. I did what I promised. So hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Bye.